Now, one question that I think is on the mind of a lot of Star Wars fans, and it's certainly one I often get asked about by people in my day-to-day life, by friends and family, and from also those online, is when is Season 3 of The Mandalorian coming? What's going on with it? Should we be expecting it later this year, around November or so, since that's basically the time of year the first two seasons were launched? And they did so in subsequent years, which leads one to believe that maybe there's a schedule that they're sort of holding to, that we get a new season every fall, essentially. Even though no streaming services usually don't hold to rigid schedules like that with their shows, they usually have a more it'll be ready when it's ready approach. And so anyway, the answer to that is no, we won't be getting it later this year, though we will be getting the Book of Boba Fett in December, which is a rather nice consolation prize. In fact, not only do we not have even a hesitant release date for Season 3, or even a very rough estimate, but according to Pedro Pascal, who recently did an interview with Ewan McGregor for Variety, Season 3 hasn't even started filming yet. Which means even if it started filming right now today, it'd still be at least roughly a year away, and current rumors say it won't start filming until late summer of this year, which means maybe we'll get it next fall at the earliest. However, one problem with all this is Pedro Pascal will be filming and is in the leading role of the Netflix series The Last of Us, which, yes, is based on the game of the same name, and that filming is supposed to take roughly a year, which makes one wonder how easy it will be for him to do both, or if filming of Season 3 of The Mandalorian is even further off, way further off, than current rumors say. Though yes, it does need to be kept in mind that, according to previous reports from the set, that Pedro Pascal actually isn't the one in the suit or the Mandalorian armor all that much, that stuntmen do a lot of the work, and he's basically there for the speaking lines and for those few times the helmet does come off. And so in theory, he wouldn't need to be on set all that much, and technically they could get a stand-in to do most of the work and he could record the lines later, though something tells me that after the way Season 2 ended, that the helmet might be coming off more and more in Season 3 and beyond. There were even rumors out there at one point that Pascal was unhappy about just how little the helmet was actually coming off, that he wanted more face time essentially. Anyway, this all leads to the question of why is there such a delay here? Why are they dragging their feet on such a popular show? Though yes, it does have to be kept in mind that, again, streaming shows are not known for making and keeping set schedules, and Disney and Lucasfilm have never said they planned on releasing a new season of The Mandalorian every single year. Also, there are two other Star Wars series filming right now, those being Andor and the Obi-Wan series. There was also the aforementioned Book of Boba Fett that wrapped not all too long ago. So in other words, it's not like nothing is happening with Star Wars on the series or Disney Plus front. However, here, one series we know isn't happening anytime soon, that's been put on hold indefinitely, is Rangers of the New Republic, which was announced only last December. And we were told that series, along with The Mandalorian and the Ahsoka series, and speaking of that one, we have no reports on what's going on with that either, when filming of it might begin, or even if there are scripts written yet. Anyway, we were told all of this, all these different series, would culminate into some sort of big crossover event, which I've speculated before would involve Thrawn, or would see him as the main antagonist of the whole thing. It just makes sense since last we saw Ahsoka in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, she was looking for Thrawn. It also makes sense that if Thrawn returns from whatever happened to him at the end of Rebels, which seems extremely likely since again Ahsoka was looking for him, that they would do something maybe remotely similar to the old Thrawn trilogy from the days of the expanded universe, and thus a show called Rangers of the New Republic would make sense. It makes sense that the New Republic would be dealing with the remnants of the Empire led by Thrawn. Problem with all that, though, is the big rumor was that Gina Carano's character, Cara Dune, was expected to be one of the leads in Rangers of the New Republic. And so no matter how you feel about all that, about Carano being let go or fired or however you want to look at it, it seems likely that that move has thrown quite the wrench into their plans for The Mandalorian and whatever this crossover event is and everything else around it. In fact, not all too long ago, a Mandalorian novel that was apparently already written and just awaiting publication was outright canceled, as was the visual dictionary for the first two seasons of the show. And then there was also supposed to be comic books from both IDW and Marvel that revolved around the Mandalorian and or characters from the show, and we haven't heard a single word about those comics in roughly a year now. In other words, whatever grand plan they may have had for this whole time period likely involved Cara Dune quite a bit, and they have been forced to go back to the drawing board that it set everything back. But honestly, it seems like it's been set back more than it really should have been. I mean, again, you can have your own prerogative on the whole Gina Carano incident, but if you're a Lucasfilm, it doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to write her out of The Mandalorian and to simply replace Cara Dune in Rangers of the New Republic with a brand new character. I mean, in theory, we would never know the difference. Even though, in reality, yeah, we'd all assume when the show comes out that one of the characters, especially if there's a quote-unquote strong female lead character, that it was supposed to be Cara Dune, or maybe I should say, if Rangers of the New Republic ever comes out at all, if it hasn't been scrapped altogether at this point. Which I could certainly see being the case, because no matter what or whenever it would come out, that show is going to be met or would be met with a lot of negative reaction and hostility by a lot of fans, because everyone knows, or it was heavily rumored again, that it was going to be a show featuring the character Cara Dune. Season 2 of The Mandalorian even seems to set that up by getting her a badge and sort of becoming, or seeing her become a ranger on the frontier for the New Republic. And so those fans who continue to do things like ratio any and every new video on the official Star Wars channel and then fill up the comments section with support for Gina Carano or with quotes taken from her, well, they're going to be very vocally active against Rangers of the New Republic, the show she was supposed to star in, again, if it ever sees the light of day. Furthermore, any new strong female-type character brought into The Mandalorian with any sort of role like Gina Carano's or Cara Dune's is likely going to be met with the same sort of anger and outrage. In other words, the reason for all these delays in regards to The Mandalorian and everything around it apparently could certainly be that Lucasfilm is hoping that somehow the storm will blow over in regards to the controversy around Gina Carano. They want it to all sort of go away before carrying on with their plans, or some modification to those original plans now that she's gone. Problem for them is, and for better or worse, again, depending on your point of view, I don't think this is going away anytime soon. This isn't one of those things that some fans are going to forget and forgive rather quickly. I mean, certainly Disney and or Lucasfilm has done a lot of things regarding Star Wars that have angered some fans, but this one does feel different because it's something that even expanded beyond Star Wars and got a lot of attention from the mainstream media. And as for the rumors that sometimes pop up that say Gina Carano may be coming back or is in negotiations to come back, I honestly don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think Disney and or Lucasfilm would ever swallow their pride and do that, nor would it likely even be a win for them when you really think about it, and I know some will completely disagree with that, because all those happy with them letting Carano go would now be angry that they caved into the quote-unquote toxic side of the fan base, while many of those unhappy over this are likely still going to be unhappy and not come back to Star Wars. Not to mention, would Gina Carano herself even want to come back at this point? Well, that's all I've got for you this time. Now it's your turn to tell me what you think about all this. What do you think is going on with The Mandalorian and everything around it? Do these apparent delays and cancellations have anything to do with the Gina Carano backlash? Or is it something else altogether? Whatever you think, leave a comment below and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.